I'm gonna make a deal with you really quick.
Yes.
If I get the golden buzzer, you gotta come out there and pick me up.
Oh, I got it. Listen, I promise you that.
All right,
That's
sweet.
for real. I will throw you across the stadium. Go ahead. Go.
That was probably one of the most important things I've ever said in my life. And believe it or not, that one statement there is actually the reason that I got a golden buzzer on America's Got Talent. But look, bro, do you remember when we were younger how we could play with dragons and giants and dinosaurs, and we could actually see them as we played with them? But then as we got older, those things became harder and harder to see. And you see, something that stands out to me is how a lot of ancient and modern texts mention the mind's eye. And one text stands out to me in particular. It's this text here. It says, walk by faith, not by sight. Are we getting clues to the secrets of how this world works? I mean, is it a clue to say walk by faith and not by the things that you've been given in the physical world to actually see? Right? If I'm to turn around and just start walking, I would consider that difficult because I cannot see. But I'm told, walk by faith, not by sight. Let's dive deeper. Now, walking by faith, it comes with what's called synchronicities, coincidences.
Do you hear me? America, can you hear me? This young guy out there chasing dream. I hope you see that.
We just got here.
That's the vibe, bro. That's the vibe.
But God, when He sees that you are walking and believing, not with your eyes, but with your mind's eye, with your imagination, with your trust, with your reckless abandon, He'll communicate to you and He'll say, my child, I see what you're doing. I see that you believe, and this is my way of showing you that I'm with you.
The world is gonna know his name, man. No, the world knows his name, man. We in Dubai, but we know him, bro. Yeah? That's right, my boy. Yeah, man.
This is confirmation that we are where we're supposed to be at in order to make the impact we want to make on the world. But what does this have to do with the beginning clip? Let me break this down for you. On America's Got Talent, they film for 2 weeks straight, 2 showings each day. There's a 3 p.m. showing and a 7 p.m. showing. Now, I was scheduled for the 3 p.m. showing, but synchronicities and coincidences always happen when you're walking by faith and living within your purpose. Randomly, someone injured themselves in the 3 p.m. showing, and the schedule got moved around, and I got moved into the 7 o'clock show. Well, it so happens that like 20 to 30 students from the university I went to decided that they wanted to watch a showing of America's Got Talent for spring break. They drove from Arizona all the way to California, and they were in the 7 p.m. audience for America's Got Talent. And when I walked out on stage, that's what I saw. Students that recognized me sitting right behind the judges.
Also go to school in Phoenix,
I think
Arizona.
they go to my same school.
Now that wasn't anything that I had control over, but God Himself, He will intervene when you walk by faith. And you see, what stands out to me is the fact that we are instructed to walk by faith. You see, it would be different if this was something that we came up with or something that we figured out through trial and error. But the fact that there is literal instruction to walk by faith, I mean, we gotta give it a shot. But what does it look like? Well, with the example of America's Got Talent, what I did is I decided I'm gonna give walking by faith a try. Now look, no one's seen this before. So this shot here, you're about to see what I did to exercise my mind's eye and begin to walk by faith.
Knock it out like daylight. I'm all about pushing the limits, not about pushing papers.
Do you feel me? America, can you hear me? This young man out here chasing dreams, I hope you see that clearly.
My entire future.
And you know, this is actually why I believe I cried on stage. I started to get emotional because I knew the next thing that happened. You see, I trained myself to see the performance on America's Got Talent way before I actually performed on America's Got Talent. So by the time I got on stage, I had seen it 1,000 times in my mind's eye, and the world was about to see it for the first time.
The world's gonna know my name. 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 The world's gonna know my name.
You see, everything down to when I would point my hands, I'd already seen it. You see, you look at this clip here, I point my hand.
When it storms, when it rains, it falls on all, it's the same.
Then you go on stage at America's Got Talent, I point my hand at the exact same time.
When it storms, when it rains, it falls on all of us the same.
You see, I saw it first in my mind's eye, that way I could walk by faith, not by sight.
But after today, the world's gonna know my name. But after today, the world's gonna know my name.
This is why I could look at Terry Crews before going on stage and tell him that I knew I was gonna get the golden buzzer.
This is crazy, man. This is crazy. This is a moment I've dreamed of for a long time. This is like nothing I ever imagined before. Thank you guys so much.
You see, there's this verse here that says faith is the evidence of things not yet seen. That means that I had proof that it was already mine, because God has this world set up in a way where when you walk by faith, He will be there in the process. But when we walk by sight, sometimes we can see things and begin to struggle. You see, when Peter went out on the water, at first he walked by faith, but when he used his eyes, he began to drown. And God Himself in human form looked at him and said, "What got into you?" I mean, honestly speaking, whenever we begin to drown because we're using our eyes and not our faith, God looks at you and He says, "What are you doing?" Because He's with you throughout the entire process. And when you walk by faith, you cannot fail. Try it yourself. Believe it or not, this video is a synchronicity and a coincidence for you. And that means that right now, God is telling you, it's time. It's time for you to move. It's time for you to make it happen. So just begin to walk and let Him talk to you the way He talks. And when you see that all these things begin to happen in your life that seem like random coincidences, that's when you know. Now you can look at your Terry Crews and say, when I go out there and make it happen, I want you to pick me up. That was the importance of why that was one of the most important things I ever said. Now it's time for you to go make your impact on the world. Man, and speaking of America's Got Talent, I almost forgot to mention, they showed that as a kid, I grew up racing motocross, literally my favorite sport. And then through random coincidences, God ended up getting me involved in the sport in ways I couldn't even imagine with random synchronicities. I mean, that's a story for another time, man. I mean, maybe we'll tell you about that one in the next episode.
This stadium is gonna be full of people. My goal is to make this place go bonkers. I mean, what can I say? When you just walk by faith, there's literally nothing you cannot do. So look, check it. We're gonna be making a whole lot more videos like this to just motivate you to take life and just take care of business, right? So look, we're gonna create another channel. We're gonna be putting these videos on that channel as well. We're still trying to figure out how this YouTube algorithm thing really works. So we're gonna upload it here as well. We're gonna upload here and there. But make sure you subscribe to the other channel, because that one's gonna be solely focused on the development of the mind, right? We need to make sure that we're always growing to make sure that we can always give back to the world. Every single one of us. Make sure you subscribe to that other channel as well. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.